Hi guys, how we doing? Welcome back to another video. So in this video I want to develop a new HMI for my PLC rig. So I've got this rig that I built, which is just basically for me to practice and learn and teach myself of any of the things around industrial automation that I want. So I've got a PLC, a PC, an Arduino, Siemens, a Raspberry Pi, a safety relay, some other relays, bunch of stuff on there for me to just practice. And so I've got this 7-inch touchscreen HDMI screen that I've got connected to this PC, and I want to develop a HMI for it. So I did develop a HMI at work that I now use on this, but it's not really suited, so I want to make my own one, and then hopefully you guys can see in this video the process that it takes for me to make an app. So I've made quite a few of these ElectronJS apps now, so that essentially you're using some open source technology called ElectronJS. So if you go to electronjs.org, you can see their stuff. You're using their technology or like some open source libraries basically to create an app, and then what you do from there is I basically use AI. So probably one of the things that you'll see, which is interesting, is you'll see me use in this video ChatGPT. I'm going to try and use DeepSeek as well, just to see if it's any good. I use Claude, and then I'm using an IDE, so like VS Code, but it's a fork from VS Code which embeds the LLMs, the chatbots, into the IDEs, and in that way it can literally just import code straight in and debug my code for me. So this is called a Cursor. So if you're following along this video, you're probably going to need either ChatGPT, DeepSeek, Claude, one of them. You probably want the paid version. No point using the free ones, are probably not that good. And then I'm using Cursor. Cursor is expensive. You got to pay $20 a month for it. But if you're programming full time, it's absolutely worth it. So and then if you are going to get it, use my referral code. Then we get a month free for it. So yeah, anyways, so let's get cracking. So what you need is, I've made a folder here called PLC app ElectronJS. If I then do Windows R, go to my command line CD to change directory, and then if I do npm install, okay, it's because I don't have a package.json. So oh yeah, actually, if you guys are going to do this, then you do need Node. Is it Node.js? So yeah, you need to download and install Node.js. So let's just confirm by asking ChatGPT, what do you need to run an Electron? Probably not run. This is the O3 mini high. It's gonna take forever to answer. I didn't realize I was on this O3 model. So let's put Node.js and npm. Okay, so yeah, you need to install Node.js and npm Node Package Manager. So if I run this code, npm install Electron, will that install what I need? Okay, yeah, so it's installing the modules I need. Cool. So we'll try I haven't used this new O3 model yet, so let's try and use this. So once everything's set up, you can start it out with a script defining your package JSON. So can you write me a package.json? So I'll start with these chatbots here, but eventually I'm going to switch over to using the Cursor IDE. I'll just show you. This is the app that I built. So this is I'm a remote desktop now onto the PC on my rig, and this is the app that I've built. So I can actually control all of my IO from here. So I want to do the same thing now, but make a new app. Cool. So can you write me a package.json for a PLC home PLC application I'm creating in Electron? I need the app to communicate with a S7 1200 Siemens PLC. So can you add the libraries I need? So we use like a Python open source library that someone's made that uses S7 comms. What? Why is it reasoning in Chinese? What's going on? Oh, that is hilarious. Considering DeepSeek and everything, ChatGPT is coming out in Chinese. That is funny. All right, cool. So what I want to do is I kind of want to GitHub. I should have a GitHub for this actually. So I think I'll make this open source for you guys, so you guys can go wild with it as well. Home PLC app. Use this repo, please. Cool. So it's added in my GitHub link. Add my name in. I'm gonna see if it knows my name. Oh dear. It should not know my name. I'm inclined. What did it say there? Is reasoning. I'm inclined to assume add my name refers to repo's owner name. H. Okay. It guessed my name. Apparently guessed my name from H34. So okay, we'll take that. All right. So let's stick that now. This is our package.json. Stick that in here. Save that. And come back to our command line. We should be able to npm. Do I need to do maybe npm install? This should then install any of the additional libraries. Has it referenced any libraries? It hasn't. No matching version. So let's just quickly tell it that I'm getting these errors. It wants me to. The error you're encountering indicates that version isn't available. Specify version actually check available. So it wants me to check if something is available. So I then proceed to spend, and this is Hamed post recording this video now. I then proceed to spend probably another hour or so, maybe less, arguing with ChatGPT and trying to get it to write the code for me. And it wrote the code for me, and every time I tried to run the program, which it did eventually run a little bit, it would just error out. And it was trying to, ChatGPT basically, which is weird because this is the newest model, it was trying to use an older version of Electron, which just wasn't supported with whatever I was trying to do. So the app just kept on crashing. So eventually I gave up, stopped, opened up Cursor, and then I started again from fresh and then used Claude 3.5 instead of ChatGPT 03 Mini to then create the app. So here, this bit is all ChatGPT, and then now you're going to see me start to use Claude and Cursor. All right, so to start over, I open a new chat, and I'm basically I've moved all these files out of my folder. They're now in an archive folder, and I'm just gonna say, can you create me an ElectronJS app that connects to a Siemens S7 1200 PLC? It wants me to run this npm initialize. Wants me to run this. So what it's done is I've initialized it, which created the package JSON file, and then I've installed all the node manager things, and now I'm just going to accept all for all the code changes. So that's all the code changes, and then now if I npm start, what happens? There we go. So we got connect to the PLC won't work. Yep. So let's say, well, let's give this code to 03 Mini. Let's go over new chat. I'm writing an ElectronJS app. Can you add a text box to my file, please, so that I can. To be honest, I just don't really trust ChatGPT. I kind of. Can you add a text box? Yeah, I don't know. I don't trust it. Can you add a text box to my file, please, so that I can change the PLC IP address? Now, I kind of don't want it to give me the full code. I want it to just give me the snippet and tell me where to insert it. What's it done? It's giving me the full code. I don't really, yeah, anyways, okay, that's fine. So, how many lines of code is this? 99, now 109. And then I kind of want like a main.css instead. So let's do that. Main.css. And then I don't really like seeing all of my. And look at that. That is recommended to me now. Remove your style and then just link to your main CSS it's just made. That's crazy. All right, cool. Well done. So, what have we got now? The placeholder, let's just do 0.99. And then what I need is, I need to find this PLC IP address thingy. Is it not in main.js? Where's my renderer? Do I have a renderer? Oh. I don't have a renderer. Did it do that? I don't have a renderer. Let's ask it to give me a renderer. Okay, it's embedded my renderer file into the index, that's bad practice. Okay, so let's put it all there. Yeah, so now it's removing it all, linking to the renderer. Yeah, that's good. Cool. Much better. So then now, where's the IP address? IP address. Cool. Let's run that. npm start. I've got my Connect to PLC. Please enter an IP address. Why is it not just static? Just have that in there. It's displaying it as a default value. Placeholder. How do I make this? I mean, it is right. It went to add that, connect to PLC. Get rid of that. But now I want it to just have that text. I can't remember how to do it. Oh, it's value. There we go. So let's run this again. So connect to PLC. Error invoking remote method connect PLC. Type error. Connected is not a function. Interesting. So let's again. We'll ask ChatGPT first. Can you help me with this error message? It likely relates to my main.js or renderer.js. I should be able to attach my renderer, but I can't. So open your main.js and locate the handler for connect PLC. Connect PLC. And then it probably looks something like this. To fix error, replace on is connected with connected. So is connected, change that to connected. And then let's run it. So that hasn't worked yet, but I didn't read all of the instructions. Additional tips. Okay, so that didn't work. Here's my error. Here's my code. I'm watching its reasoning as it's coming in, and it's not looking good for this ChatGPT so far. Like, I kind of would like it to just ask me some questions and just be like, can you send me your renderer? Can you send me this? But it just makes assumptions, which if you're intending to use that, you expect something like this. That's one of the following. You're using a different PLC library. You might be mixing up APIs. What can you do? Option A, use the correct Node 7 API. Remove the check for an existing connection. Yeah, it didn't know, and it just kind of just waffled. So here's my full main.js. And then here's my renderer. If it doesn't get it now, I'm moving on. I'm just gonna stick to. I might start asking DeepSeek actually. This is their new model. Like there's like an arrogance to these things where it's like just ask a question. Just say to me like, what are you doing? Instead of spending 40 seconds thinking about it, just come back to me with questions. The Node 7 library does not have a connected method. Instead, we now simply try to drop the connection before starting a new one. I don't like this. Try using the following in your main.js. So I'll try it, and then this is ChatGPT's last stand. 93. Okay, save. npm start. Connect. Nope, you flopped. All right, let's go back to this code, and then yeah, unfortunately, ChatGPT is just not it. It just isn't. So here I'm using Claude 3.5 in Cursor. So let's stick to that. I don't even know what changes it made there, but we'll look at it afterwards. So npm start, connect to PLC. Still not working. What is happening? Even though the library doesn't have an is connecting method, let's modify the connection method in main.js to properly manage the PLC connection. Added an is connected flag to track the connection date. Remove the incorrect is connected method. So I think ChatGPT was right about the is connected thing. Nope. Missing arguments. So the options or port or path argument must be specified. We need to specify the port for the PLC connection. For Siemens, the default port is 102. So how do you not know that you need to specify a port? Come on, like the AI is sleeping today. Okay, connected to the PLC. So now to test this, if I just remove my network cable, it should say disconnected. So I'll lose my remote connection I've got. Yeah, it's gone. Cool. So I lost my remote connection. I've also lost my mouse at the same time. But it still says connected. So when I lose connection to the PLC, it doesn't change its status. It still thinks it's connected. Another test I could do actually, just quickly, is to check, is that actually connected? So if I remove my cable again, and then do npm start connect, it should attempt to connect and fail, which it is. Attempting connection failed. Cool. So that's, at least it's the connection before was honest. npm start connect to PLC, we're connected, and then I need to remove the cable again. So at this point I've removed the cable and it's still saying connected. What is it doing? The connection will now be actively monitored and the UI will update accordingly when the connection is lost. It still stays connected after I've removed the connection. We're trying to use a read all items without any items added to the connection. Let's modify connection check to use specific test variable. Oh, is it because it's okay? That's not bad. It might be because it's looking for data. Regardless, anyways, I want it to tell me it's been disconnected. So npm start. So that should fail connection. The timeout on here is too long as well. But okay, let's plug it back in. Let's connect. We're connected, and then disconnect it. Oh, it's doing something. You can see it here. Dropping an undefined request item. So interesting. Let's give it all of this. The command line can see the test connection drop, but the UI isn't updated. Disconnected. I need a better way to disconnect my PLC. At the moment I'm rolling my chair 1 meter forwards and backwards. So I guess I'm making the code kind of needlessly complicated here. I could just move on, and then for the sake of keeping the code shorter, but oh, I'll run rebuild, I didn't mean that. So npm start connect PLC connected, and I've removed the cable. Yeah, so it's not updating, so it still isn't working, but let's move on. Let's set up the code to read. I feel like just removing all of this test connection code it's added, but anyways, it still isn't working. Let's move on. Let's set up the code to read the PLC database and display that on in a serial log, in a I don't know, serial log format on index.html. What I want now is, if I open up tier portal, so this is inside a VM, if I go to my IO, the problem with this is that this is a fixed way of reading it, which is not great, but I guess no, it doesn't have to be, right? So at the moment, what's the UI doing? If we look at index.html, it's looking at a placeholder. So the placeholder doesn't work. It should be value. So because the placeholder is just grayed out. So let's add a value there and there. So I save this now, run this, npm start. So now we're going to look for db1 x0.0. So what's my IO DB called? Properties. I'm kind of blanking out here. Okay, that was it. So optimize block access we don't want. So as long as that's unticked, and then our DB value is DB1, and then it's 0.0. So providing so I should be writing to DB1 0.0. I should be able to read that value and then write to that value. So let's just go online with the PLC, and then we're going to look at this data block, and so we should be able to read that this is false. So let me actually make it true first. So clear falsing is now true. If we minimize this, connect to the PLC, we're connected, read the value. Value is true. Very nice. Oof, very nice. Okay, so set that to false from here. Value is still currently true because it's not updating in real time until I read value. Value is false. And then write true to the value. Oh, still false. So that right hasn't worked. Read value, still false. So let's try the other way, which is it's currently true. Read value is true. Write 0. And value is false. So why did setting it to 1, so it can write 0 but it can't write 1? Maybe it thinks it's an integer. I don't know. Okay, so at this point now, yeah, where it's now fully connected, if I remove the cable, what happens? Okay, now it says connection lost. Okay, not great, but okay, we can accept it. All right, so I'm picking this back up a week later now. You know, life's just busy. But I've just recently added some settings to Cursor, which should hopefully make it a bit better. How do I get there? View, file preferences, Cursor settings, and I've added these rules for AI thing. So hopefully this should, I don't know, make things a bit easier to understand. It should give me better output here. So one of the first things I want to do is let's make it so that it automatically connects. So if I just run the app, I want it to automatically connect. All right, so it's recommended these changes. Attempt to connect to the PLC automatically when the app starts. Update the UI. Still allow manual connection if automatic connection fails. Keep all existing functionality intact. All right, accept. And so apparently it's automatically connected. The test for that now is to remove my cable. And then run it now. And it hasn't connected. Yeah, connect. Nothing, failed. Good. So now what I want is I want to display all my IO in a table basically. I want to display everything in the table. So I'm going to get rid of these boxes here. And then just say, can you display all of my IO in a table? So I've just said, can we remove these fields from the index HTML and instead display the data block from the PLC in the table? All right, so this should now be removing the manual read write fields, display PLC data in a table format, automatically read all configured tags every second. So at the moment, I don't think I have any tags really set up. So let's just accept it and then run it again. Interesting. Edit. What does that do? All right, so it seems to have hallucinated some stuff, which is okay. I guess it's just filling in the blanks. Stop, speed, value, temperature. So what I've done is I've gone on to my database, my data block, the IO data block, and I've put it into Excel. So I've got it all here, and then I'm just going to say, here's my data, here's my IO data block. Map these into the code. File, save as CSV, add to Cursor Composer. That one. Yeah. Oh, it's doing it. Oh, very nice. This is the thing, like, none of that code is hard to understand, but it just would have taken me half an hour to write that all out. Beautiful. Don't know what this dot flat is doing. Right, accept all of that. Let me go here, run it again. Okay. It obviously hasn't done everything. It looks horrible as well. Can't really even make sense of it. So let me, if I press a button, so we've got full reset button. So I'm pressing it and it's not changing because, yeah, that just looks like a fixed table. Yeah, okay, so I'm not getting any change in there. The first thing I'm doing is I'm going to show it a screenshot of it. I'm just going to show that there are no digitals being shown here, even though they've been mapped. Digitals. There aren't any being shown. This is the thing. In my AI rules, I've asked it not to do complicated code, and I don't know what this dot flat was trying to do. So let's see. Run it now. Start. Attempting optimization of item. I don't know, like, why. What is all of this? Let's ask it for this. Still not showing. What is all this optimization? Trying to read optimize. Trying to optimize read operations. Let's disable that and add those inputs in a simpler way. Thank you. Yeah, that's what I want. I'm gonna have to ask it to explain what it's doing here because I don't get it. I've done this already before and it wasn't this difficult, so I don't know why. I don't know the approach that it's going for here. All right. Well, okay. So let's just say that seems to be working. Apparently, I don't know for sure. Can we make this table look nicer? So in my rules, it should now default to using an open source library because I've put in my cursor rules to use an open source library. Yeah, no, it hasn't. Are you following cursor rules? I did mention to use open source libraries where possible. I kind of don't want massive code. I want to reference open source libraries. So I've asked it to make this better, and it hasn't. I don't like it. I've asked it to make it look nicer, and it's done this, which is I don't know what that thinks it's doing. Let's just check the console to see if there's any errors. Yeah, I thought so. So for whatever reason, this cursor seems to be making a lot more mistakes than I previously remember. So I'm getting this error. And then I'm going to say this thing to it afterwards. I don't know the approach it's taking. Like this is not what I want. I don't really want tons and tons and tons of CSS code. Especially of creating a style.css. Don't I already have a main.css? Let me tell it that I already have a main.css. So I just rejected its style.css. Alright, so if we run that, that now does look a little bit better. It's all that's a bit wonky there. Make that full screen. Yeah, so the value column is a little bit wonky, but that does look much nicer now. So it's tried to fix it. Instead of fixing it, it's now removed the colors. That was nice. Oh, and it's crashed. Are you using cursor rules? I asked to use open source libraries. This table is still wrong. Can we use a simple open source library that requires little code? The reason I want to do this is because when it comes to dealing with my code later on, I think it's easier to deal with if I've just used a bunch of open source libraries. And it should keep my overall code lines reduced. Because the thing is, I'm not going to be coding every day, so I might come back to this 6 months later, and I don't want tons and tons of complicated code. Okay, so this apparently it's used some grid library, npm start, and it's completely broken it. All right, there you go. Here's our errors. No table displayed and received all these errors. Oh, okay, I'm an idiot. That was my own fault. I didn't read the first line there. It says first install this. My fault. So that invalid tag name. Interesting. Okay. So I want me to add that to my package.js. Don't know what those changes were. So now, oh, can I run it? Will it run it? That's not gonna run it, is it? Oh, is it running it? Ooh, I can run it inside Cursor here. I can run my terminal from here. Damn, that's nice. So I don't need to do it in here anymore. I kind of like this window, but ooh, that's nice. Is it actually installing it? I don't know. Main.css, that as well. Sure. One high severity. Okay, so that looks like that's actually installed. Game start. Interesting. What is all of this? That has not worked out. The view. Failed to load these resources. Create a stars directory. This is kind of not what I did not want to be doing this, but okay. So will it make a stars directory? Has it made one? It has. Nice. Run this. Accept all. And can I do from here npm start? Ah, that's cool. Okay, interesting. So this is much nicer. I can deal with this. This is pretty cool. I guess as I'm scrolling, are the values updating? They might be updating live. Because when I scroll down, it jumps straight back up. So PLC inputs, I can turn inputs on and off now. It's a bit slow. The update rate there is a bit slow. So let's try to improve that without, I suspect I may crash the app, but okay, let's say this is better. Can we remove all the terminal spam from attempting optimization? I kind of want to see what's going on in the terminal, and then just like having it spam this to me 10,000 times is not great. Okay, let's test that. There's no spam, which is nice. Okay. All right, so let's try do something the old way for once. So when I start the app, it starts in this windowed mode, and I want to just start it in full screen. So the old-fashioned way of doing this would be, I mean, some people, it'll be even worse. They would do like, I guess some people would actually go to the documentation like this, I guess. And I want to make it open in full screen, and I don't even know how you'd go about doing this the old school way. The old school way would be full screen, maybe new browser. It says experimental deprecated, and then full screen. Whether to prevent the window from resizing HTML. Nope, that's not what I want. Yeah, I don't even know how you do this the old school way in terms of going through documentation. I guess the older school way, but still newer school, would be to say ElectronJS full screen. Okay, there we go. What do you want? Browser window. Ready to show. Setting the background color. Where's full screen? A boolean property that determines whether the thing's in. Okay. Basically, you can see that Electron app. Win equals new browser. Win maximize. Win show. So if I now go to main.js something, I'm looking for like new window. Oh, what am I looking for? Browser window. Browser window. Main window, new browser window, and then I got height there. I think I want to do this. Oh, what's happened? Nope. That's that. Not happy. Doesn't want that. What was it? Win equals new window browser. Show false. Main window equals new browser window. Yeah. Wait, main window maximize. I'm not even sure. Like that. Save that. Run it. Hey, there we go. So that starts in full screen now. But there was a bit of a glitch there. You see, so okay, let's go back to using AI. Can you help me improve this code? It shows a small window first, briefly, and then opens in maximized. Let's see what I've done wrong here. You can just see how much time that took up. Now, obviously, sending messages to this thing costs money using their API. That's, I guess, the difference. I did that for free, and I'm learning. But I'm also learning here. Like, I guess you set the window to show false, and then when it's ready, then ready to show, then maximize. That makes sense. Accept all of that, and then now we can try run it again. There we go. And that went much better. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so the original problem now was every time I scroll down in this table, it shoots me back up to the top because it's updating. So on my table of IO, whenever I scroll down, it shoots me back up to the top. Must be something to do with the update. Let's see what it can suggest. I look at it, it's going to maintain the scroll position. I'm not sure I like that. I kind of think, like, I'm not a big fan of this windowed table, but maybe it's good. I'm not sure yet. Yeah. I think I'm not sure yet, but that's fine. Let's see what this thing suggests. So add a get row ID, and then suppress scroll on new data, add maintain row order. Okay. All seems a pretty fair approach, I think. I'm here, npm start. So if I scroll down now, it keeps my position, which is nice. Let's just check we don't have any errors. We do have errors. It looks like minor issues about font and stuff. So, and then some warnings. So we have some errors. And then, but the scroll position worked. Select that so it doesn't make any changes to that bit of code. So let's update the content security policy to allow AG grid fonts and then fix the grid options. Update the grid options. Okay, so it's got something to do with security, whatever, that's fine. Run it again. No rows to show. Those small changes broke the whole thing. How? Those changes broke the entire table, which is crazy. That like what's this? Added some performance optimizations. I don't want optimizations. Why is it touching the get row ID thing? That was working. Yeah, is the problem. You need to. Okay, so it's loaded it now. Again. So at this point now, I'm gonna snap an archive of this just so that let's just confirm that this works. So if I press my button on here, nope, it's not working now. This is where you have to test in it. Bloody hell. Okay, table is not updating anymore. So I guess what I want to know now actually is if I run the app, what I want to do is I want to run the app whilst one of these inputs are true. So I've now got input 2 true. I run the app. Does it say, yeah, so they're all still just false. So it's not even that the table's not updating, the table's just straight up not working. So let's just move the initial data load. Okay. Except I should have taken an archive before because it looks like we've broken the app now. All the inputs are false or 0. Not only is the table not updating, the initial read isn't working either. Then let's just see, do we have, oh, I didn't mean to send that. The problem with these AI things is that they end up fighting with each other. So like it fights with its previous self from yesterday, which, and then you can end up with like some hybrid code where it starts looking like it was written by 2 different people. It was just written by 2 different chats. So again, still not working, and okay, it's spamming the console stuff, but kind of emptiness. Can I? It's adding debugging, but that's not the point. It's something that you've changed. Just revert back, roll back. This is what I don't like about this thing. It should just roll back. Like I don't know why. Why is it being persistent with this? Okay, no value received. Console says no value received. This debugging isn't necessary. You made a change 10 minutes ago that broke it. Can you refer back to historic code? I can roll back. I think there's a feature to roll back, but I'm surprised that this chat isn't better at going back on itself. It's also my fault. I should have actually just saved an archive. So let's see if I can roll back to a time that we was working, which was like literally just before the changes. So, and then 57 minutes, 18 minutes ago, file saved 9 minutes ago. So can we restore this? And if we run that, what do we get? Literally just doing my main.js renderer now. No rows to show. So if we go back 24 minutes ago, what is this? Okay. So the scrolling issues come back, but still we're not getting any inputs working. I've rolled back and I'm a bit stuck here now. So I think let's just start a new composer from fresh. And then let's just tell it what errors we're getting. My table won't load. So yeah, I mean, whenever you get to a decent point, you need to be archiving everything so you can always roll back. Because you can see here, like now, I'm totally lost. I'm now branching off from my rollback, and this is going to cause me a headache for sure. Yeah, nothing. Add main.js to this chat. This is the problem. Like, I've asked it to keep the code simple, and it just hasn't. It's like done all some optimization crap, and I have no idea what it's done. And it now can't fix this at all. Alright, so it took me another 2 minutes. I got back to this point. Basically, the silly chat couldn't see my index.html, so I had to link it, and then now it's fixed it. Yeah, so again, not great, and just, I guess, a key important thing here is to actually bloody remember to archive your work. So I'm now going to do that, and I'll show you how I do that. I've got an archive folder here. I literally just drag all of this, maybe the styles as well. Don't need the node modules. Go into archive. Got one there. Make a new folder 2. Put it in there, and then now I can always just drag that, copy all of this back into that root folder, and then now I'm good to. I can carry on deving now, and then I can always roll back to this point here where at least it was working. So cool. All right, so I've got everything working again, and I've moved my connected to PLC banner at the top. I now just want to embed this as like a drop down underneath that. So I've asked it to, can we put all this info? So this code here, that code, can we put that under the status drop down banner? So hopefully that should be a pretty easy change to make. It's written quite a lot of code, so I think I might have gone a bit too far, but let's just see. npm start. Okay, so instead I just wanted a drop down banner, but it's giving me a settings button, which is a bit fancy with a cog, and that works nicely. Yeah, so that turned out much better than I wanted. So I do need to fix this update where when I scroll down, it then pulls me back up. So I need to fix that. So let's try and fix that again without breaking everything. Can you prevent the table? Currently, when I scroll down the IO table and it updates, it sends me back to the top. Can this be fixed? We obviously know it can be fixed because this is, I could have grabbed the code, but yeah, anyways. This is happening because the grid is completely reset with the new data, so we're gonna get the position. Remember the current scroll position. Yeah, the same approach as last time. Let's see if this has worked. No, broke it again. So exact same thing. So my top toolbar's gone as well, which is not good because I can't get my dev tool. So let's get that back. That broke the table. Did I think, yeah, I've archived it, haven't I? So I should be okay. I'm not going to ask for 2 things at once, because every time I ask for 2 things, that's when it kind of breaks. So just tell it that it broke the table. Let's see. Okay, so the table's back. Does it update so we can see? Yep. So the table's back working again. All right, so this is where I'm at right now. I'm pretty happy with it. The edit button now works as well, which is nice. So I can go to this AI 0 scaled value and edit and change that to 100. Save. I did not change scaled value. Okay, that wouldn't change. It's the offset that would change. 100. There you go. Yeah. So that would have changed, but then the PLC code would have immediately rewritten over it. So what I want to do now, and it even says value written successfully. I want to My database basically on the PLC has digital input A0, A1, A2, A3, and then B0, B1. Doesn't it have more? I think it has more than that. Which PLC do I have? Yeah, I've got more than that. Yeah. So, CPU digitals A. It goes to B5. So let me correct this. And then what I want is I've got the states here on my PLC, but then I can write to this for state to change, to overwrite the value basically. So there now, that B5, if I had it, let's do A5. Force it true, and then that turns the state on. So A5 should now be on. Yeah, A5 is on, even though it's not actually on. So what I want is I want this edit button to be able to force off or force on, which is going to be a bit tricky to do. I want that, and then I also want this to not show so many digits. I want it to just show like 2 decimal places. So let's do maybe the reals first. So if we'd say I want the real values from the PLC to only show 2 decimal places. Okay, so that's pretty straightforward. It's literally just this one line of code that says return num value to fixed two places. Nice and simple. So that should now, there we go. Yeah, cool. So that's good. So this is going to be a bit tricky. Let me get all the values. So I'm just going to talk to it now and just tell it to just get me all the values that I need. It's not properly showing them. And then I might section stuff off as well, so to create multiple tables. All right, so I've added this B5 input to my app now. So you can see it. B5 is true here. And then what I can do is, it's currently true, but it's not actually, like the light on the PLC isn't on. So if I turn off force status to false, that will force it off. And then we should see that B5 off. Cool. Currently, I'm just reading the value of the state at 28.0. And now what I want to do is I want to be able to control 28.1 and 28.2. So if I go back to Cursor and say, I'm currently reading the state of each digital input and output. However, I want to be able to control the forced state of each output. So I guess it's like this. If we say each input and output has its state at x.0, and then its forced state at x.1 and forced status at x.2. So can you, instead of the edit button for each of these IO points, replace it with forced or forced on and forced off. So I don't know if the AI is going to be able to understand this, but basically when I click the button, I want to be able to set force state to true. Okay, so when either of the buttons are pressed, forced state needs one written to it. One or true written to it. Then if I press forced on, forced status needs to be set to true, whilst if I press forced off, forced status needs to be set to false. So I'm not sure it's going to be able to understand this. It might royally mess up the code. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take another archive, and then I'll be extremely surprised if it gets this all in one. What I suspect is going to happen is I suspect it's going to do the same for analogs, which I don't want it to. Analogs I want to be able to adjust, but not all of them. So, and I kind of want to break them off as well. So let's just say do not do this for the non-Boolean IO points. All right. If it does this, I'll be very surprised. It's thinking about it a long time, which is good. That's good to see that it didn't. I'm happy it didn't immediately start writing code, because I was kind of like, are you really going to get what I'm saying? So it's apparently done it. Those force on and force off buttons. Keep the edit button for non-Boolean values. When force on is clicked, set x1 and x2 to true. When force off is clicked, set x1 to true and x2 to false. The other buttons appropriately green. Put on. Yeah. Mate, I'm going to be very surprised if this works. So. Oh. That's pretty nice. So it seems to have kind of worked. I don't really want it to go onto this clear forcing and full reset. I probably want that to be a turn on, turn off sort of thing, but I'll leave it for now. That's a tomorrow's problem. So for this, if I click force on, okay, so clear forcing should reset stuff. So if I force on, doesn't seem to be working. Okay, that worked. It's working on most of these. Yep. They're all working. Why didn't this A0 work? I can't force either one of these two. Okay, that went on. And then that one. So that A0 isn't working. So I can see why. It's actually because I had this input as my e-stop and I didn't want it being forced. So I didn't add the force into it. So I think I will remove that. So if we cross-reference this, go to this code. Here, I've prevented it from being forced. So I'll just update this code here. And then that one will work. So that works fine then. So we don't need to worry about that. So that now works, which is nice. So the next step I think would be like a reset. So I've got a clear forcing for everything. So if I click that, it is not working. I guess, yeah, because I can't force on and off. So let's change these two buttons then to get them to work. All right, so I've now asked it to add a reset button and it works pretty well. So if I force this input, which is currently true, force it off and then hit reset, that then turns off and comes back on. If I force this on, it becomes true. I hit reset. So now what I kind of want is like, I want something like a currently being forced banner here. So in my value, I kind of want it to go like, so I guess like when I'm forced on or forced off, I want to display whether it's forced on or forced off. So let's ask it that. So can you display when the tag is being forced on or off? So you can see, like, you know, it's crazy to me. Like if this works as well, it's mental that how much progress can be made. Like this amount of code would have taken me a long time. And like, look at that, forced on. It's so fast and it's crazy. So if I clear forcing now, gone. Force off, forced off, forced off, forced on. Reset that one. Reset? Okay. So if I try my digital outputs, so, oh, I don't have a lot. I need to fix those. Okay, so force on. Yeah, my orange lights come on. Force on. So I can just say it's not showing this. It's not doing the same for my digital outputs. So I'll do not doing the same for my digital output. And now I'm just going to grab an archive of this, this is just incredible, the progress, to be honest with you. And I'm well excited to see what AI is going to be able to do in future. This is brilliant. All right, so let's get all my outputs in. So here are my digital output mappings. Or is it doing it as a picture? Great. We might make some mistakes as a picture. No, again, I'd be very surprised if it has. Oh, it seems to have forced on. So if I turn on my buzzer. There you go. You can hear my buzzer. And then if I click clear forcing, gone. All of it gone. Beautiful. All right. I'm very happy with that. Like, that is incredible. And yeah, I don't know if that's all my IO. Possibly not. But I mean, just there now, I've now got a HMI where I can fully control everything from the screen. Is my forcing count active? So forcing active. Force that on. Force that on. So yes, true. And there's 2 being forced on. Very nice. I'll probably move these to the top and then maybe like section them off as their own unit. Yeah, very nice. All right, so I've asked it to split my IO now out into different tables, and it's done that very nicely, and it's now working much nicer now. That is a bit that seems to be slightly bugged. I'm not getting any errors on the console, so I need to ask it about that. But yeah, everything now just seems to be working really nicely. All right, so it's now a week later, and I can't remember how, but I fixed that bug there. So now what I want is, this looks good, but I kind of need it to look okay on a 7-inch screen, which is going to be probably about that size. And then like I need the buttons to be big and, you know, probably the text. So I'm going to ask it to probably just remove. I kind of like having the addresses there. I can see why that would be useful. The type, I can probably remove all the type maybe. Don't necessarily need that. I'm not sure it's going to be touchscreen friendly, so I think let's just stick it on the touchscreen, and then we can confirm 2 things. We can confirm that it's easy to move around and navigate, and then we can also confirm that it's going to work without internet, which is probably my main thing. So if I just ask Claude, if I just say, will my app work without internet? Are we using libraries locally? And then let's just maybe just put in my package.json and main.css. Cool. But it says, I did ask it in the rules to make sure that it's keeping everything locally. I don't want to be referencing any internet. So the current dependencies in your index, you're loading tabulator from. What does that say? I'm loading tabulator from where? Okay. So that's good. That's all locally. Yep. All dependencies are installed locally in your node modules. You're not using any CDN links. Your Node 7 library for building works offline. However, to make it more robust, I recommend remove the unused AG grid community dependency. Okay, I can do that. Consider copying tabulated files to a local assets folder for better organization. Is that necessary? We'll do it, but I bet this is going to break something. Oh dear, it was not happy doing that. I didn't think that was going to work. Add to composer. I got this error when running your command. That turns out it's just giving me the wrong commands because it thought for some reason I was in Linux maybe. Okay, so let's ask it. I think I'm ready to build. How do I build this now? Should be like npm run build, I think. First, make sure your packaging has the correct build configuration, which it already does. Okay. Add an icon for your app. Optional but recommended. Create an assets folder. So just run the command npm run build. It seems to be working. Alright, so I'm on my PC here, just copying the app over now. Well, just to set up installation. Alright, so let's install the app now. There we go. Alright, so we've got the app running. See if I can control my PLC. Force off. Nope. Okay, yep. Force on. Force on. Force on. Perfect. And I can see all my lights have come on in real life as well. Cool. All right, so let me take you over to my rig, and then let's see how it looks on the actual screen. So here's my rig. If we open the screen, sign in. All right, so what do we think? That is okay, I think. So digital inputs, digital outputs, let's force these off. Yeah, I mean, that's good enough for me. Cool. I think that is a success. Let's just check edit values. So I do have this problem actually. I had this on my last app, which because this is a touchscreen, it doesn't have the on-screen keyboard come up. It just thinks that this PC is just not a normal PC and not a tablet. I don't know if Windows 11 has a tablet mode, but it will be interesting if I can get the app to pop up a keyboard when I tap here. So let's try that. So we're back over here. I would like it so that when a text box is pressed, an on-screen keyboard opens. This app will be running on the Windows PC, but I want it to behave like a touchscreen, just providing some extra context to it, and pop up a keyboard when appropriate. Is this possible? And help. So this is something that I don't know how it would do it. Maybe there's an open source one. Maybe you can access the Windows one. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what it does. So launch Windows on-screen keyboard when any text input is focused. Okay. So my only concern there is if I wanted to run this on Mac or Linux, this wouldn't work. However, I'm going to not let that be a concern for now. I'm just going to proceed forward because I'm just using Windows. So I should be fine. Launch Windows on-screen keyboard. Work with both the IP address input and the value edit modal. Use a native Windows keyboard, which users are familiar with. Close automatically when input loses focus. Oh, very nice. Look more indicating. Yep, cool. Okay, let's try that. So we probably do an npm start first to see how it looks over here. If we do settings and IP, hey, we get the Windows keyboard. Very nice. Very nice. Oh, this is a bug. So if I click off it, it's not. I have to click off the screen first. Okay. Not sure as much I can do about that. That's fine. And then the edit. There. On-screen keyboard, 99. Enter. And then now yeah, this is probably still a bug to be honest. Because I'd now have to tap here and then close it. Is there a way to improve the closing of the keyboard? Currently, it will keep opening after I've closed it. So it's going to attempt to close the keyboard when the input loses focus, close the keyboard when the edit mode is closed, close the keyboard when saving a value, prevent the keyboard from reopening. Okay. Again, I'm surprised it can do all of this. So let's see what happens. npm start. Settings. Okay. Close. No, it's still doing it. I don't see how it has no way of knowing, right? I don't think this will work. Oh, yeah. The on-screen keyboard pops up. I close it. It's just gonna keep opening again. Close it. I don't know if there's a solution to this. That pops up. I click off. As long as I'm still selected. Let's just say that didn't work. It keeps reopening. I don't mind. That's not a big deal. The fact that it actually pops up is incredible enough. So this is a bug I think I can live with. But yeah, I think it's gonna try and track the state of the keyboard now, I guess, and create a little state machine to say. I think it could just, yeah, you could just have a little flag that gets reset after 3 seconds or something. I don't think it's a particularly hard problem, but go settings, IP address, close it, and keep reopening. Of course it would. You can maybe just make this only run once every 10 seconds or something. Anyways, like I said, that's a bug I can live with, so I'm okay with that. Let's test it on the actual tablet. So just out of sheer morbid curiosity, let's see if I could. Is there an open source keyboard I could use? Never got open source virtual keyboard. Simple keyboard. Alright. So npm start. Setting there. Ooh, that's, I don't know what that is. That's a bit weird, but I do like that. That's pretty nice. A bit. Okay, let's ask it why it looks like that. There's no enter or delete button. It's nice, but a bit buggy. No enter or delete button and some weird characters. But it's nice, by a bit buggy. That's interesting. The code there lays it out nicely. That's pretty cool. Start settings there. Oh, we got delete. Doesn't do anything. Space gt. The delete doesn't do anything. Enter does something. The space works, but not delete. Okay. I don't think I like this. All right, I am pretty happy. I mean, this is the result of maybe 2-3 hours of work. I'm not sure how much footage I'll include in this video. But yeah, probably 2 hours work, and I've got a really nice keypad here now that I can delete, do 98, connect, and then it's connecting because there's nothing there. Do 99, connect, it's now connected. I can scroll down here. I can go to my offset, delete, add a 10, and then go to save, and that's added in, and that is brilliant. And so as you can see here now, outputs force off, force off, force off, and you can see hopefully my lights changing, force on, force on, force on, and I got complete control. So I mean, I might just make it dark mode and make it look a bit more prettier. I might leave it just like that actually, because I think the white background is good for this dim screen, so I can see it pretty clearly. So my eyesight's not very good, unfortunately. I spent too much time in front of the screen. I might make these bold, but other than that, I mean, I'm very happy. That is a beautiful app and not bad for 2 or 3 hours work. So cool. Thanks for watching. I will hopefully stick this all on GitHub so you can copy it all yourself and have some fun with it. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.